Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports show in all of New England. Moneyline. With me as always, the voice of reason himself, Frank Cristiano.
We're getting back together.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. The band's back together. Can you believe it?
Hey, hit me a little more, just a little more juice here. See if I can get that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't want to over dominate things.
You feel better now?
Yeah, I feel a lot more potent, more of an Avenger.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we aim for. I aim to please in everything I do. So a lot has gone on.
Yeah.
And the news of the day, obviously, is Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce announces he's returning. He has quite a monster cap hit. And for a tight end, especially, an aging tight end. Do you think that there was any chance that they were going to make a move with him or no?
No, I don't think so. I think the loyalty, the allegiance is there from the office, the front office, all the way down to the coaching staff. It was totally up to his decision whether he wants to stay or not. And obviously, they'll honor it either way. I do think that, bottom line, why would you want to retire right now? I mean, yes, he has his Super Bowls, but he's got a chance to extend it and grab one more and lock his position in history in the NFL. He has the correct team to do it. He has the best quarterback in the NFL to do that. And bottom line, the money's got to be great.
Yeah,
right?
No, he gets $11.5 million for a roster bonus.
That's not bad at all. March it's a bonus.
11th.
Right. So, I mean, all those factors included. And I'm sure at this point in his career, he really doesn't have to go out and perform during OTAs or camp or even the preseason games.
Well, everyone complained because they really kind of kept an eye on his workload throughout the season.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a ton of reps, and they saved him for the postseason. Didn't do much in the Super Bowl.
No,
he didn't have his first catch until the second half.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that monitoring and limiting and all that. If you're going to play, you're going to play. You need the reps.
Well, especially tight end position where there's only 2-3 tops.
That's it. But you really I think any position in the NFL, you need the reps. You need as many reps as you can get. Because bottom line, it's a game of repetition. It's a game of perfection.
Yep.
It's a game of knowledge. Taking 10, 15, 20 snaps off doesn't help you perfect that.
Yeah. And especially when you're seeing so many different looks and you're not even practicing half the time in pads. Right. It makes a huge difference.
Right. Exactly.
Everyone said that the Chiefs, the way they run their camp is a little bit old school. Andy Reid hits a lot more, plays at a faster pace.
Yeah.
And that's when they do the bulk of their work. And then they back off as the season starts and begins to go on.
Right. Well, I think most teams are in that camp of how they approach the week and the season. The closer and the longer the season progresses and and if you're lucky enough to get into the playoffs, realistically, the week is a walkthrough week.
Yeah.
There's not much. I mean, how much hitting can you do? I still don't think people can fathom or wrap their heads around how violent the collisions in the NFL are.
Yeah.
I think they just expect, it's a hit. When I was in high school, I wrapped up a couple guys when I played linebacker. And what they don't realize is that the guys you'll be trying to wrap up now are running at speeds of 20 miles an hour. So
or more,
right. So, basically you're trying to stop a small missile. And with your body. So the hits pile up, the injuries occur, the soreness gets deeper, you're tired a lot easier. Mentally, I think it's as much of a physical struggle. The NFL season is a mental struggle as well.
And how old is Mahomes?
Is he 32 or more than that?
Okay. I got you.
Is he 32? I'm guessing right now.
Mahomes is in his 30s too?
I would think so. I mean, he
came in, I think he came in 2018.
He did, but he sat for two full years, I think, before he played.
Okay.
So, that'll put him at 24 when he's a starter, 23, 24.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I think he's done the 7 or 8 year term. Maybe he's 31. Maybe I'm a little off.
Oh, okay. That would make more sense.
Yeah,
And then what do you think the other news, obviously, is the banning proposal of the tush push?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in favor of it in the beginning. I'm looking at it and I'm like, come on. How can they push a guy forward when all along you couldn't do that? You could not assist the runner.
No, that's right.
And now all of a sudden you can. So,
it's not all of a sudden. I guess it's been in play for
it's a couple of years. Yeah, it's been in play since 2-3 years, maybe 4 years.
No, I mean they banned the aiding of the runner thing years ago.
Actually, Mahomes is 29.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was younger.
I thought he was older. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, so he's got a nice window of opportunity.
It's really in the prime of his career.
He's in the prime. Yes, he's got a great window of opportunity right now.
Because I'm pretty sure, didn't he sign an extension recently?
He's in that $40 million range, I think.
Yeah. He signed an extension, and I think it was 6 years. But I think it's in the $40 million range.
Right.
But the Chiefs are over the cap too, which was another reason they thought that Kelsey
would not be there.
Might restructure his contract.
Yeah, or some of his contract. Like they'll by the time the season rolls around, they'll figure out who they have to cut, and it won't be Travis Kelsey.
No.
The tush push. So the tush push for me right now is, hey, listen, you can't stop it.
Well, teams are pissed because of that. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You got to change your drafting strategy, and you need more interior people presence. I think now, if this continues to be legal, you'll definitely see. Right now the NFL defensively, they are built for what?
They're built for the spread,
rushing the passer.
Yeah.
Up front, you are built for rushing the passer and nothing else, basically. So you're missing those large bodies in the middle.
One play. You draft people just to stop one play.
Yeah. When that play puts 6 on the board.
Well, yeah.
I think you need a heavier, a more physical upfront presence, defensive line wise. I think you need bigger bodies in there.
Yeah.
Because listen, the O-line never changes. Realistically, you're not rotating O-linemen in and out. You're rotating D-linemen in and out.
Right.
So if your O-line, which Philadelphia's O-line I think is fantastic, if your O-line is averaging about 320, 330, and they can move and they're big and they're strong, I mean, you've got to match fire with fire.
Right.
So, maybe your draft strategy and free agent strategy, listen, we need a couple of big 330. We need a couple who was the guy in the Bills years ago? He's huge. Oh, he played with the Patriots.
Vince Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork. I mean, literally, we need a couple of Vince Wilforks out there just to eat up space.
Right.
And to protect against that play. I'm telling you, if I'm a GM, I'm thinking that way.
Right.
How else to stop it? How else is there to stop it?
They said that I think it was either the Eagles and Bills combined for an 85% success rate with it.
Right. The Bills in the playoff game was idiotic. Because number one, they really didn't push anybody. Josh Allen was just trying to find a gap.
Right.
And he kept going to the left-hand side. I guess that had his favorite side. Right. So
every time he goes to the left.
I don't understand why the Bills didn't put a couple guys behind him.
Right.
To be able to push him forward. If you can do it, you might as well take advantage of it.
Right. And 85% of the time, and I can't remember how many touchdowns.
Yeah.
But that's why.
Well, it's probably 85% touchdown rate.
Well, short yardage and goal line
is
such a difficult situation.
Yeah. What if you just change your quarterback?
Well, that's what some other teams do.
Yeah, but you bring
the Saints did that.
But you bring in like a 275-pound guy.
Just to run it.
And what if?
Why don't you just bring the fridge back in and hand them off on a dive?
Well, handing off is different. So when you're handing off, the element of time assists the defense. It takes time for the handoff. It takes time for the back to find a hole. It takes time. So it allows the defense to actually make some movement. But if you're just taking the snap and sneaking, why not put a 275? Why not put a huge guy in there? Why doesn't let's say the Baltimore Ravens, their fullback, Richard.
Right.
305-pounder, that fullback. So why don't they just take him, practice some snaps and let him do it and run a whole series of offense with just him going straight up to A-gaps with guys pushing him from behind. Who's going to stop it?
Well, you're terrified of putting someone in to take a snap, though. Don't you worry about a fumble snap?
If you practice it enough, you can get it.
You practice enough, you can get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, he's a fullback.
Half these quarterbacks can't take snaps as it is.
Well, everyone's in the gun now because that's the flavor of the day. But bottom line, he's a fullback. So he sees probably action on with Baltimore a little more, but maybe one every 3 or 4 downs. He's not in all the time.
No.
So that means his practice load during the week is not 100% practice load. He's got time off.
Right.
He does. Go take some snaps.
Go take some snaps.
Take some snaps.
The other news was the NFL agreed on the salary cap increase. It's going to $279 million.
Right.
Which is 23.8 million increase.
Okay.
And that's based off, that's based off of the revenue from last year.
Okay.
So that's crazy. I mean, it's been going up 25 million to 30 million the last couple of years.
Well, 53-man roster.
That's a thing. That's what I think is the mistake.
Right.
I think they should add players.
Sure, they should. But so 53-man roster, and you have a $273 million cap.
279.
$280 million cap with 53 players. That basically makes each player average out to $6 million, $5.5 million a player.
If you did it that way.
Right, if you did it that way. But I'm saying $5.5 million a player. Not that happens. But yeah, I mean, I think NFL players are the most underpaid.
They are.
Of any sport.
And they're the only ones without guarantee.
Yeah, right. They're not guaranteed contracts. And your superstars are your superstars. They will make the money. But 2-3 spots down, you got guys playing for, I'm not going to say pocket change. 2 mil is not pocket change. But bottom line, they're playing for a lot less, taking the same risk factors on the field as what the guy is making $40 or $50 million is.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just, wow. Baseball doesn't have a salary cap.
No.
The NBA does.
Yes.
But you can pay luxury tax and go over it.
Right.
Football does not allow that.
I thought you could pay the luxury tax for football. They don't have that. They should institute that. I would like to see that.
But football is the only sport where they require you to spend a minimum.
Right.
There's small market teams in baseball that don't spend a fraction.
Correct.
Of the Yankees.
Yeah, the Marlins or the Miami Marlins. They're not
football, you have to spend a baseline minimum of it's probably going to be 250 or 260.
Yep.
And then the max it will be 280.
Right.
But I still think that they added practice squad players years ago. They should add more than 53 players.
No, I agree. 100%.
You only dress 46.
100%. 100%. That's the thing. You should be able to dress 53.
If you look at any other sport, any other time in football, high school, college, 85 college scholarships. High schools have 60 plus guys.
Right.
Usually. The NFL is so tight with dressing 46 per game.
I mean, address this angle right here. So O-linemen, so the O-line, how many O-linemen will they dress for an NFL game?
Typically 7.
7. Right.
Yeah.
You dress 7.
We only dressed 7 when I was in NFL Europe.
Right. So let's say 2 guys go down.
Yeah. Party's over.
That's it. And it's not like you can take a D lineman and move him over to offense.
No.
You can't take a tight end and move him to tackle.
Nope.
So bottom line, I mean, you're rolling the dice. Boy, if 2 of my guys go down, I got 5 and that's it. What happens after that?
That's why that having a center, they have to have a backup center for sure.
Right.
Someone who's versatile, can play
really probably 2.
Yeah.
Probably 2, an emergency guy too, just in case.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's so crazy.
Right. So why not increase the rosters? They should be able to dress 9 linemen.
Well, 8 or 9.
I would take 9 just to dress 9 linemen. Same with your D line. You should have 8 D linemen.
Yeah.
You should be able to, that way you can rotate, at positions. So there's a lot of benefit. And for what? For peanuts. Again, millions of dollars.
D line, I think, probably dresses more than
O-line. Oh, without a doubt.
They have so many personnel groupings.
Yeah. But And we're saying, I'm not saying it's chump change, but again, for a few million more, you can add a couple linemen to your roster.
I agree.
And I think it's a beneficial thing for the teams.
Yeah. I think the 53 model is archaic more than anything. And I don't get that. They're adding money. You're going to pay these guys more than I would just rather have the extra personnel.
Correct. Although as a team, as a general manager, that 23 million extra.
Well, a lot of teams, it's not extra because there's. It was shocking to read the teams that are over the cap, going into this year.
But they have to be at the cap when the season starts, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is that extra 23 million. If a general manager feels he's one piece away, he dumps all that money into one guy.
Yeah.
So you're taking a gamble and a risk, but they definitely raising the cap is a good thing. And I would say definitely increasing the rosters. They have to increase the rosters.
And the combine, I believe, is this week or weekend?
It's going on now, I think.
Going on now, right?
Yeah.
Now, the top guys aren't working out, obviously.
Yeah.
But the number one pick, a lot of debate going on about that. If Tennessee should take a quarterback, if taking a quarterback would be a reach. If, this Shedeur Sanders merit the number one pick, this Cam Ward merit the number one pick.
Right.
Everyone else says Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And the Titans already drafted a first-round quarterback, 2 years ago?
Well,
Levis.
You would think he's a first-round quarterback, but, are they sold on him?
Well, he's still on a contract.
He is, but are they sold on him?
I don't think so. But I don't, from everything I've read, Sanders or Ward doesn't belong necessarily in the top 5. They'd be a reach. Maybe they said 3 or 4, but because they're projecting the Giants could possibly get one of them. But Travis Hunter obviously is the best player in the draft, according to
he's the best.
Everyone.
He's the best overall athlete, but does he fit your need?
I think he does with that kind of versatility to be able to play receiver or DB.
I mean, any team would be
any
team would be happy to have him. Right, any team would be happy to have him. That's not the factor, but man, if I'm Tennessee and I'm going into the season, I've had 2 seasons of Will Levis, a season and a half basically. I got 2 seasons of Will Levis, and I'm not happy with him. I've evaluated him. I'm not happy as a GM, and I'm reporting to the boss, and the owner says, "Well, you know what? Maybe we got to pull the trigger."
I just think it's giving up on these guys way too early.
I agree. But my thing is this. The NFL has to go the opposite direction. They can't draft these kids and throw them into the pro game and expect results right away.
Absolutely.
They can't. So now my idea is you got to sit. Listen, Terry Bradshaw sat for a while.
So did Mahomes.
You got it right. So you got to sit a little bit to be able to adapt to the system, to understand the speed of the NFL, some guys don't have to. Some guys don't have to. Washington this year didn't have to, right?
Well, I think they also designed a system.
Yeah, but I mean,
play to Jaden Daniels' strength.
Yeah, but I don't think maybe they tinkered with like the check receiver one. He's not open. Go.
Well, as opposed to. You recall, obviously, when they drafted RG3. Yeah. Shanahan didn't tailor the system to him right away.
No, but he did
eventually.
Yeah, he did because they were running the triple in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, RG3 was a triple option quarterback at some points, so
he did eventually.
Right. And they did sort of mold it differently,
but he never liked them.
No.
And he liked Cousins better.
No, listen. The coaches are animals of habit.
Yeah, they're creatures of habit.
And bottom line, a guy like RG3, then a guy like Cordell Stewart, a guy like Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick. And I'm naming runner. I'm naming guys. What was the guy's name? Played for Tennessee for years, passed away. Quarterback Steve McNair. Thank you. A guy like McNair. McNair wasn't the most dynamic runner, but he could run. That was the scratching of the surface for the NFL as far as changing the thought process of who I want taking snaps and leading my team. Because now you have the dynamic of the quarterback being, In other words, it's not 11 on 10 football. It's 11 on 11 now, right? Because now you got to count for that quarterback in the run game.
That's the biggest thing.
Right. So,
and it's easier on offense because you don't have to block everything.
Right. And you got an old guy, Shanahan, who, bottom line, he couldn't adapt to that. He wasn't comfortable. And when the coach is not comfortable, the team is not comfortable, right?
Well, do you believe that it was true then that Daniel Snyder was the one who made that call? Everyone says that he was the one who wanted RG3.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see that.
It was him.
I could see that.
Down, he said, I want RG3.
Daniel Snyder is a douche. So bottom line, I hate backing anything that may be said about him that could be but I think maybe, in that kind of situation, he wanted to make a splash with the best quarterback coming out of that draft, the best athlete probably coming out of that draft. And so RG3 out of Baylor it was. But I don't know. Shanahan was never comfortable, didn't dig him. Cousins, yes, I understand all that. But old coaches are hard to adapt to new things.
Oh, of course.
They're burned in their styles. So that's why now.
Well, as you know, also from Don Edick.
Yeah, it's a little rest his soul. But the plethora now of athletic, mobile, strong-armed quarterbacks that are coming out is sort of changing the motions of the NFL and now expanding their vision of what they have to draft around a quarterback like that.
Right.
They've got to change the way they do their entire draft, and that takes years to develop and process.
Well, and the other thing, once you start seeing some injuries, I think that they'll move away from it because they are taking more hits. They are running more.
Never.
You think they're built to withstand the hits?
I don't think they're built to withstand the hits. I just think they're going to get more of the same thing. We talked about that before. Remember, instead of one tremendously athletic quarterback, you're going to have three
of them.
Yeah, you're going to have enough to where you're not going to be. Look at most NFL teams; they crap in their pants when the starter goes down.
Yeah,
right.
No, they do.
You got to bring in a guy who's
Your
only
season's over.
He's taking 5% of the weekly snaps with the starters. You know what I mean? He doesn't fit in right on it. So my thing is.
Well, they try to get a discount too by not paying a backup.
Yes, but that's another thing where I think that it's different too. I understand the Mahomes of the world. God bless them. They're one of a kind creatures. But
you look at Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he's gotten hurt the last few years. He's missed significant time.
I agree. Look what happens to Dallas.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way to draft 2 or 3 like quarterbacks. Pay them close to the same amount each guy.
Yeah, but no agent will ever go for that.
No agent will ever go for that. But listen, bottom line, you want to play. If not, this is this perfect situation for you. If not, or you're going to have to go find jet work somewhere else, and the number 2 guy is going to be number 1. So, I mean, I think it could work. You're going to have a little separation from the first guy to the second, but you got to have some clones. So when one goes down, 2 steps in and takes over and doesn't have to bat an eye, and he fits right into what they do.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. They're saying Travis Hunter possibly 1, that Abdul Carter possibly 2, and then Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward would go 3.
Did Abdul Carter run a 4? What did he run? A 4.45?
Wow!
In the combine right now, he ran under. He ran a 4.5 for his first one, I think it was, and then he ran under that for his second one.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's real light. He's not a thick guy.
What? Okay,
but
I'm trying to see how.
But
much
I mean,
weighs.
I think he ran like a 4.5 or 4.45 as an edge rusher.
Oh, it said that he did not work out at the combine.
He did not work out at the combine. Then who ran the 4? So there was a D lineman.
He's going to work out at his pro day.
Oh, I gotcha. So it wasn't him. Okay. I got to find out what D lineman ran a 4.45 at the combine. I mean, that's insane. No,
it is insane for someone that size. But God, he looks small too.
Right. I bet you they're 240, 230. They're realistically, they're outside linebackers that are just putting their hand in the dirt.
Well, I never heard the terminology edge before. Mm-hmm. They call them edge now.
It's just an edge rusher. That's it.
Does that mean if you're the edge, do they always put you to the boundary? Or you always to the weak side?
No, I just think you're a guy coming off the edge. It all depends game plan where they want to put you.
So they're 2 edges.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence Taylor had 2 edges.
Well,
that was the true edge guy.
Yeah, but when I watched him, they traditionally would play him to the boundary. He was the weak side boundary walk up.
Yeah, but you would see also that they would put him to the blind side of the quarterback.
That too.
If he's the hardest edge rusher they got coming up, they're going to put him to the blind side of the quarterback.
Well, it was funny too watching those old Giants when they played a 3-4.
Yeah.
Belichick did such a nice job moving him around.
Right.
LT.
Because really it was Burt, Marshall, and him, right?
On the 86 team, it was Burt and Marshall and Martin.
And Martin, that's right.
And then the 90 team, it was Eric Howard, Leonard Marshall.
Yeah.
And then they had, I think his name was John Washington, played the other end. And then Banks, Reasons, Pepper Johnson, LT.
You know,
Banks played the Sam.
Leonard Marshall was undervalued.
Yeah.
As far as fans' recognition and worth in the NFL, I thought Leonard Marshall was a tremendous defensive lineman.
Well, those big 3-4 defensive ends,
right,
were 280,
right. Back then when that was big, you know.
Yeah. They were monsters.
Yep.
And then the true old school 2-gap nose guard.
Right.
That was the tough position.
Right.
Because the Giants would always play the 3 down and they'd walk 1 up, which was LT.
Right.
And he traditionally would they would keep him away from the tight end. But it was funny when you'd see him. He dropped in the coverage. He was great in coverage when you watched it. And they only play. It was crazy because I watched it. They only played really 2 coverages. They played a zone.
Yeah.
Almost like a 2 deep zone, and they played 3 deep. And the linebackers would get
they played single high 3 deep and holy Christ.
Yeah, because it was funny to watch because the linebacker, there were no personnel substitutions.
Right.
I mean, occasionally they'd put a nickel in, but other than that, LT was on the field the whole time.
Yeah, they all were.
You'd see Banks and Pepper Johnson. I mean, they would drop, they would get their drop. It was crazy to watch when that was how all the teams played 3-4s back then.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder when the age of substitution came in.
The personnel group. Yeah. I mean, the Giants, when I watched the Giants, they kind of started it. They would put a nickel in. They would put usually Everson Walls. It was Everson Walls, Perry Williams, Mark Collins. They would put a nickel in. And then the big change was the Super Bowl that year, where they came out in a base nickel to dime.
Right.
They played with so many defensive backs to stop the pass. And that's why I remember Thurman Thomas had such a big game against them.
Right.
Because they were rushing 3, sometimes 2. And dropping everyone into coverage. But that was it. That was it. So what do you think so far about the Luka trade? How it's worked out? The Lakers went on a run.
They've won 7 in a row. I mean, it's worked out fantastic for the Lakers. I mean, they were on the run. They'd won a couple before Luka had come in. And
but he's really transformed things.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got a grudge now to pick in playing in the NBA because there's been some things said about him.
You don't think that he wanted to leave Dallas?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. He was very comfortable in Dallas. He enjoyed being the numero uno honcho in Dallas. Everything and I think what hurt him the most is the surprise of it all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nobody,
I hit him over the head like a sledgehammer. Nobody saw this coming right now. But if you're looking at it, again, I remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about this and we were saying when it happened that, I think it's a win-win for both teams in the long run. Because
he's had health issues.
I mean, everyone has health issues, but so does Anthony Davis. He's out right now. He hasn't played.
Yep.
So, but I think the both teams had a fit and a need for the player that came in. The Lakers more so.
Didn't Luka get hurt right away?
He was hurt when he was on Dallas, and then switched over in the trade.
Okay.
And he's still hurt, but he's fine. It's just a minor injury. But the Lakers were looking for that combination star power again.
With LeBron,
and they need a scorer. They need Anthony Davis a scorer. Don't get me wrong on that, and he's a big part of what they do. But there was a spark missing, so now they're playing a little smaller. Yeah, which is no big deal to them.
How tall is Luka?
6'7".
Oh, he's that short.
Yeah,
I thought he was taller for some reason.
No, he's 6'7". He said, "Oh, 6'7" is not short." I mean,
well, no, but I thought he was 6'10".
Yeah, no, he's a ball handling guard. He's 6'7", and sometimes they go little small, but it doesn't matter in the NBA anymore. These guys fly in the air.
Yeah,
you could play a 6'8" guy at center and be fine.
Yes,
John Collins, for Utah right now, and he used to be with Atlanta. I mean, he's 6'8".
Right.
And he plays center. He's good.
Right.
So with Dallas, they felt they needed to be tougher on the. Granted, they had two centers, but now they've got a scoring four with Anthony Davis if he gets out there. But with another injury, who knows when he's coming back? But they felt that was the piece that was missing to keep them, in that championship hunt for the next few years. And so they made I still don't understand it. I wouldn't have never traded Luka. Maybe I'd approach Luka and say, "Listen, Luka, you got to get in better shape. Or you got to get more real with what we're doing, or we're never going to get to the top, But to dump him like that in a way, listen, the Lakers took him smiling as
they gleefully
because there's their franchise guy for the next 10, 12 years.
Right? How old is he?
Oh, he's 25.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what was the whole? Why did they want to dump him?
That's the $1 million question right now. There's so many different explanations on it. From they didn't like his attitude.
Oh, right. I heard that
he's lazy. He's lazy. He didn't work hard enough. His health status. He's always injured. I don't know.
He's only 25.
25.
Wow.
25. I mean, he's a basketball sensation. He was playing on pro teams in Serbia,
right,
when he was 16.
Jesus,
team ball at 16. I mean, he was playing against 30-year-olds.
Has he missed significant time?
He's had patches where he'll miss a set of games just because of injury. He could miss 10, 15, 20 games sometimes.
Right.
Then
okay.
Is he out of shape? I don't know. He gets up and down the court pretty good, but yes, probably. Could he lose a few pounds and tighten up a little bit? Everybody could. Right? So, yeah, maybe he's a little out of shape for what they're expecting.
Is he on his rookie contract still?
No.
Okay. No. So, how long has he been in the league?
Was it 20 when he came here or 21? He's been 5 or 6 years in the league.
Okay.
I think he was 19 when he came in. I'm guessing off the top of my head. I'm going to say 19.
Okay.
Yeah, and he got him to a championship,
Right.
So
no, he did.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, Kyrie was there for the ride too. Don't get me wrong. He just shit the bed at the wrong time because Kyrie had a terrible finals. But I think it was a good fit in a way, but mentally it's confusing.
Do you think if Mark Cuban had control,
Luka would have never been gone?
Do you think? Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yep.
If Mark Cuban was still the majority owner,
I think Mark Cuban
would have nixed it.
Being the owner, Mark Cuban enjoyed basketball more than being an owner. He loved watching games. He loved being
one of the guys.
And he's down there in the court now. Yeah. He's still down there in the court. He's over in the right-hand corner, behind the basket. But I think he has loyalty to people that perform for him. Probably, same in business.
When did he sell off?
Just this past year, I think it was.
Was there a reason behind it?
Well, he wanted to pull back. I don't know if it was more family issues than anything. Yeah, he's still a minority owner. I think he still owns 36% of the team or something like that. So he didn't dump all of it.
No, I know that.
But I think it's just a matter of pulling back a little bit, and the offer was really good. So I don't know exactly what they sold that percentage for. But average NBA teams, I mean, what are they going for? $4 billion, $5 billion? $6 billion,
yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? It's crazy the amount of money that they're worth. So yeah, and he's still there. He still goes to games. The majority ruled, and they decided to get rid of. I'm sure it was an ownership and general manager poll. That's it. Who else you got to contact?
Well,
they didn't tell the coach. They didn't tell the coach.
That Nico Harrison guy. He's apparently not well liked.
He was getting crushed in L.A.
Well, they played, 2 nights ago, was it?
Yeah.
It was 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in L.A., and they were chanting, "Thank you, Nico," when Luka was shooting free throws.
How old's Anthony Davis?
He's got to be a little older.
He's in his 30s?
He's got to be in his young 30s. Yeah. Now I'm going to say 31 on that.
And did they get a draft pick too out of it?
Yeah, it was a 3-way trade.
Yes, because they needed the other teams.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact workings. I knew the trade 2 weeks ago. Now I'm drawing a blank on it in a way. I don't know if Utah was the third team in the trade.
Right.
But it was a 3-way trade to make things work cap wise.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there was a I don't know, 2026 first rounder and something else. I don't have it off the top of my head. I apologize.
Yeah. And the Lakers obviously won. And he scored.
The Lakers won the game. Yeah, he had a triple double. LeBron came back later. I think LeBron scored. I think he scored 16 in the fourth. Had a great fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah. No, he had a triple double. I mean, he was. The whole gist of the game was he was scoring big buckets and then looking back at the bench.
Yeah.
Or looking at Nico in the stands. Which I don't know if he's doing that or not, but it just sparks things up. It's juicy. It's a juicy game. That was a juicy game, and that'll come back. I think they play again April 9th, if I'm not wrong. I'm pulling that off the top of my head too, but I think it's April 9th they play again, and I think that one's in Dallas.
Does that make the Lakers the front runner now for the West, you think?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it makes them the front runner. I think it puts them in a more viable position in the West.
They were fourth.
Yeah.
Right? Are they still fourth?
I think so. I think they're still fourth. They may be third, but I think they're still fourth.
I'm gonna check.
But you're talking, you've got
actually they're fifth.
They're fifth, right? Okay. Yeah. So what do you have? Well, you got
they're 2 games behind Houston.
Houston, right? And then how about Houston?
Denver, Memphis,
Oklahoma City, right? And you got to look at right now. Oklahoma City is just really good.
Yeah.
Denver is an NBA championship team. So I think it's a little tough road for LA to maybe make it to a finals this year. I mean, they'll win their first round game, and then it'll be a tough road after that.
They still have a couple missing pieces.
Yeah, they that Mark Williams trade that was negated between the Lakers and Charlotte.
Right.
I think that hurts them. I think that was a great pull, but something's got to be wrong with Williams. Something pretty detrimentally wrong. So maybe it's something they don't want to touch. But he failed the physical, and he stayed in Charlotte. But if not, you could have gotten a 7'2" center who's really pretty strong inside.
Yeah,
has a nice touch around the basket, is athletic. It's something that's you don't find too many of those guys.
Now, the other thing, I read an article on one of my favorite websites, The Ringer, which was talking about the NBA possibly expanding.
Yeah.
Do you think that they could expand? Is there enough talent to expand? They're saying that it would just be filled with D-League and Europe guys.
No, I think
I
think there's talent. I mean, you've got talent coming up through the collegiate ranks.
I think so too.
You've got some couple G League players that could see some time, not a ton, but you also have a European channel that has a lot of players that should be over here playing a lot more than what's already here. And
because they pay pretty well over there.
They do. Plus, you may be a low bench guy here in the NBA, whereas you're a starter over in Europe.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to factor in as well. But yeah, no, I think there's enough talent to expand it. Absolutely. Listen, you got guys coming up. You'll any team that expands is going to take it on the chin for the first 3 or 4 years until they get their makeup together, until they have their draft picks in line, until they make the correct trades, and then hopefully you got something.
Right. No, I agree.
Because listen, basketball will be back in Seattle.
I think it should go back to Seattle.
That's basically one of the hubs they want to get it back to. I know the mayor there hinted about it, and then it was just joking.
Well,
I think it was the mayor or the governor.
Right?
It was the mayor or the governor. Yeah, no, the arena is not the problem.
Because they got the hockey team now.
Yeah, yeah, right. What are they called? The Gargoyles or
Kraken?
The Kraken. The Kraken. That's right.
Like a candy bar.
That's great. The Kraken. So I definitely think Seattle will be the eventual return spot for, and then they'll come right back. I'm sure they'll be the Supersonics.
Yeah.
So I mean that would be a coup. That would be a great pick for the NBA.
Was Seattle the one that moved to Oklahoma City?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it.
That's what it was.
Yep.
The other thing that I read that was interesting, the brawl that occurred after Ohio State and Michigan.
Michigan, yes.
The on-field brawl.
Yes.
Because this whole flag planting thing, isn't that a bit much? You can't go and plant your flag on someone else's field.
You can't. It's happened. Baker Mayfield did it. It's happened.
But it shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
you can't go planting a flag at someone else.
I think, what
do you think's going to happen? If someone did that to me when I was in college,
I'd run right through
a fight.
I'd run right through them.
Yeah.
I fought for less than that in college on the field. But that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
What are you teaching your kids?
Doesn't
tell
matter.
them, go plant your flag at the 50-yard line.
It's a sport. It's a sport. You are within the confines of an athletic field.
You plant a flag.
You are in the confines of an athletic field. Okay. So anything that happens on that field is legally allowed to happen.
It's allowed.
I'm short of somebody getting shot or stabbed.
So the midnight rape is allowed to happen.
No, on the field. Come on, it's a game. They got pads on. You're playing a game. Bottom line, I think it just adds to the mystique of the game and the rivalry. It adds to the mystique of the game and the rivalry.
If you were coaching for Michigan, you're giving your kids the okay. You want to plant the flag at the 50? Go right ahead.
I didn't even know they did it. I didn't even know.
I didn't
even know they wanted to do it.
You didn't even know they had a flag.
No, I didn't know we brought one to the case. Who busted the flag out?
Okay,
right. And then they go and they do it, and there's a skirmish on the field, and then the coaches jump in, and then here come the state troopers, and you know what? It gets all broken up.
Well, they pepper sprayed people.
They pepper sprayed a couple people. That's all right. That's all right. Listen, it happens at the protests right down in Columbia when they're protesting for free Palestine. They're getting pepper sprayed or corralled or whatever. So who cares?
So you're okay with
it adds to the listen. Okay. You ever watch the movie Slapshot? Remember Slapshot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was filmed in Utica.
Yeah, a little bit. Just one segment. It wasn't filmed all in Utica. It was just one segment. Okay, but
first of all, you lose already because you're referencing Slapshot.
But I'm going to make the point how it builds up. Planting the flag builds up the aura, right? So there's a scene in Slapshot, and it's a 1970s movie. If you're too young and you've never seen it, please.
Is that the one with Paul Newman?
Paul Newman. Oh. It's a hockey movie. It's hilarious. Maybe some of the younger kids won't get some of the comedy in there, but it's hilarious. Go rent it, check it out for a night, and then let me know here. But there's a scene in the movie where Paul Newman's coming to the arena, and they're playing in one of the very important pre-championship games. They got to win this game to get to the championship, and he's got a guy sitting in an ambulance, the old 70s ambulance, like the Ghostbusters ambulance, right? Yeah. So they got a guy sitting in an ambulance in front of the arena, and he comes up there, and there's the crowd is outside the arena because they haven't opened up the doors yet, but they're fighting each other because the whole movie is based upon Slapshot. The
Hanson brothers,
the Charleston Chiefs end up turning their season around when they start fighting on the ice all the time, right? So the fans want blood. So the fans are fighting each other in front of the arena as he's walking in to go check in to get dressed to go to the game. And the guy's sitting in the ambulance right there. And he walks up to the guy in the ambulance. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "turn the lights on." Well, yes, put the siren on and get going. He goes, "Well, you want me to take a lap around the arena?" He goes, "Yeah, take a lap around." He goes, "That's going to be extra." He goes, "Here," he gives him $20. So the guy flips his siren on, revs the engine, and takes the ambulance around the arena to do what? To spark it up. He's building up enthusiasm, right? That's what planting the flag does.
An ambulance builds up this enthusiasm.
Well, I mean, people that get the shit kicked out of them usually get taken back in an ambulance.
Oh, so the crowd likes that.
The crowd likes that. They want blood. The crowd wants blood.
Okay. I hope they ban the flag planting.
But I'm the voice of reason.
Yeah. The voice of reason. I just think flag planting's okay.
I got you. It's reasonable.
At your home stadium, go right ahead.
Why would I want to stick my own flag?
I'm playing Ohio State. Yeah. I'm going to go plant a flag in the middle of the horseshoe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I deserve.
Let's get it on. That's okay. Get tased, whatever it is. Then you know what? It builds up. Then you've got bulletin board material in the locker room for the whole year, right?
I think it was after the game too.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. You've got bulletin board material. You've got the rivalry has increased. Someone will do a video on it. Someone will do a 1-hour documentary on planting a flag in the field.
Right. No, they'll be on Netflix.
They'll be the Ohio State marching band will have. They'll spell out FU as they march out and doing their halftime show because Michigan planted a flag at Ohio State. What else? I mean,
so you're all for sportsmanship, I see.
Listen, the stupidest thing that you do after a game is shake hands. That's the stupidest thing you do.
You don't want to shake hands after.
No. You can go together. Like if you know guys, you can go meet your friend from the other team and talk a little about. You can join the prayer group at midfield, where they all get down on one knee.
I know
they're born again Christians and they're praying.
Yeah,
you could do that, but to have two teams that are blatant enemies.
Well, all right.
They're blatant enemies.
You want to shake hands?
They dislike each other to the point where if they were at a bar and they were wearing just sweatshirts that said Michigan and Ohio State, they'd fight each other. And now they've literally competed for 60 minutes on a football field with helmets and shoulder pads, right? With weapons of destruction, trying to cut each other's throats. And you're going to say after the game, all right, good game. Line it up, guys. Let's shake hands. It's bullshit.
So if you were ever to coach again, you're not going to shake hands with your opponent.
Well, it depends on what level.
Oh,
if it's high school, that's a different story.
Well, it is.
It is. It's a little bit of a different story. Okay. We're boys. We're not men yet. We're going to teach you how to be men. You'll shake hands.
We're going to teach you not how to shake hands.
No, we're going to teach you how to shake hands in the beginning. But then as you develop into men, you
don't have to.
You understand you have personal grudges that go way beyond sportsmanship.
So you're gonna teach your men to hold grudges.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's what fuels the fire.
That's what fuels the fire.
Hey, when I played football, all right, I wanted to win every game. But even if we didn't, when it came down to Ithaca week, we wanted to destroy it.
Well, that's the oldest rival. No, is it the oldest rivalry in college sports?
No, it's the biggest little game in the nation, according to Sports Illustrated back in 1988.
Right.
And we won that one, by the way. I just want to say I was there for that.
I'm trying to think. What is the oldest? I think Harvard Yale might be.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I think so. Or is it? Maybe it's Harvard Yale.
I'm pretty sure the Ivy League played
Princeton. Yeah, the
Ivy League played football the longest.
Yeah.
They have the longest history.
Yeah.
And that's crazy what I heard. The Ivy League, this is going to be the first year that they're going to get to
NCAAs.
Play in the playoffs.
It's fantastic. How about Division III, the NESCAC? So the NESCAC, where I coached at Hamilton College. The NESCAC is a New England small school athletic. NESCAFE.
I call it Division IV.
New England Small School Athletic Conference. They will be participating in the Division III playoffs. Yeah, their league champion will represent in the.
Are they still NCAAs. Only playing 9 games?
9 games. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
BS.
Well, they'll have to sit. They'll have to
9
wait.
games.
They'll have to wait a week. Well, you got to realize they do start later.
Yeah, I know.
So it'll balance out where they'll all end on the even
it'll
keel.
Balance out, but they play one less game. They'll be They'll be healthier.
Correct. Well, yeah, it's correct. Yes, they will be a little healthier.
And the NESCAFE, they don't even let you go off campus to recruit half.
No, you don't have to. That's why coaches are dying to coach in the league.
Well, you go there to retire. I mean, that's your retirement.
Young guys told me, think about it. You're going to make a decent salary.
You do make good money.
You make a decent salary.
Yes.
They don't give you the keys to the car and tell you jump around and go everywhere and try to recruit kids.
No.
Basically, it's a text, phone call, and email world.
Well,
and the kids can come to your campus and check it out. Yeah,
I mean, especially in this day and age, I don't think it's as important to go in person as it used to be.
No,
because of technology and because
you just listen. All you do is you go on
recruiting
Huddle.
Now is just
all we did is recruit.
Unlimited calls.
We'd go on Huddle. We'd go on Huddle and look at kids. 15-minute clip.
Yep, that's all it was. But yeah, that's crazy how that's going to work out.
That'll be great. They should think about this. You play an entire season, whether it be 9 games, 10 games,
but
whatever
they
it is.
still don't get scholarships, though.
No, but you play.
Well, no, neither do other Division III schools.
Right, but you play 9 or 10 games.
Play 9,
and you're done. Why is that fair? And you're the best team in the league, and you're done. Why shouldn't you go to the next event to be able to possibly win a championship?
The teams that are competitive, obviously, it's Trinity, right? Trinity, Amherst are the competitive ones.
Well, no, you know what? You can't. The NESCAC has changed.
It has.
It has. So it's power. The powers in the NESCAC have always rotated as of the last 20 years. So Williams at one point, Williams is coming back. They're better. Yes. Middlebury at one point is decent, really good team. Trinity, without a doubt.
Trinity is always
is up there. They're very good. Amherst had a great 4 or 5 year run, and they could be back in the rotation too. So there's that. But
they also have the flexibility with academics. They can get, like Hamilton, you could not get kids in.
Well, no,
admissions would say no.
But that's a school choice. That's not an elite choice.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because we would recruit guys, and we're like, we got to have this guy. And he's ready to go. He wants to go to Hamilton, and then we don't see him. He doesn't come into Hamilton, and we look over on Trinity's sideline, and there he is.
Yeah.
What the hell's he doing over there? Well, Trinity can slide the scale,
or they give him a better aid pack.
But they can slide the scale. When you can slide the academic scale, you can get anybody in you want. You're going to win. You're going to be successful. It's like NIL money. The more NIL money, the more successful you're going to be.
Yeah. No, the NIL stuff is just getting crazy. College sports is getting crazy. Division III schools are having NIL.
Division III's got some NIL?
Some they're trying to start it. They're trying to start it at FCS schools because legally you can.
You can do any division.
So everyone is trying to get something going.
Right. I know at the Division III level. Here's what I've done. I sponsored players.
You sponsored a couple kids.
Yeah, I sponsored a couple kids. I give them a few bucks here or there. They do some videos for me to
Was it
promote
Utica?
Yeah. I'll probably have a Utica University football player too as well. I told him I'd give him a little hand.
Well, I always like watching the Syracuse commercials. The Nye guy, he's an NIL dude.
That's right, he is. Yeah,
he pays people.
Yep.
But that's interesting. That's interesting. It's just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier.
Well, but this is the expanding. How about what about the article that said, the Big Ten and the SEC
with the playoffs
are trying. Or not the playoffs. They're trying to do a super league.
Oh yeah, I read that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's the playoffs as we know it are done after this year.
Right.
The TV contract.
Right.
So they can negotiate for more money, and if they had more teams at the playoffs, obviously.
Right.
But because basically, if the Big Ten, they're going to expand to 14 teams.
Okay.
If the Big Ten and the SEC don't get 4 guaranteed slots each,
right?
Yes, they have threatened to walk and do their own thing.
Right, and then other teams, they're trying to recruit other teams from other leagues to come in to create a super league.
Well, yeah, for the playoffs or whatever. I don't think for a conference. I think they'd keep the conferences. I just think the playoff system would leave out the group of 5.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I basically the teams that advanced were Big Ten, SEC schools, regardless.
I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around the NCAA's allowing men to compete in women's sports.
I thought Trump put a thing on that.
No, that's an executive order, and state by state they don't have to follow that if they don't want to.
But I thought they lose federal funding if they don't.
They will now. Yeah, he's starting to cut off. He'll cut off the federal funding to schools. But that's only at the high school level.
Oh, it's not at the college?
No, he wouldn't have control over colleges.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I'm not, listen, transgender, I could care less. Transgender, I don't care what I do have a hard time.
What do you mean you don't care?
No, I don't care. So people were like, oh, it's hate towards transgender. No, there's no hate. I have a confusion issue. I don't know what to call you or how to address you. And
but it only goes one way. It's the males.
Yeah.
The females.
There's no females that are transitioning as a male, and all of a sudden, like, hey, right,
dominate someone.
Correct. So just by that logic alone, one would say there has to be a physical advantage for any male that transitions to a female. But the problem is, it's not even transitioning anymore. It's a matter of just identifying.
You identify.
To identify. You can identify as a woman.
If I identify as a man, I'm a horse.
You're right. You're a toaster. You're a toaster.
Yeah.
So and I'm not, to make slight of it, but I don't understand it. You're bending the laws of like physics. If we say not physics,
that's
but
what the Trump's chief of staff guy said. There's only two biological sexes.
That's all there is. I mean, I don't know what you can do after that, though. That's all there is. Bone density, muscle structure, all that is just genetic, and the genes fall with the XX or the XY.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't see what the difficulty is. Now, they always say, "Oh, it's such a small percentage." You got to let that go. Well, that's like saying, "Hey, listen, we have these serial killers, and there's just a small percentage of them. All that, so let's let them run loose through society, and we'll figure it out." And you can't do that. You can't do that. And are you doing a direct harm to women? Probably some of them you are. Probably some of them you are, because you're literally telling them that maybe their opportunities for a scholarship by a school in a certain sport will be denied because they come in third or fourth. They don't have the statistical numbers to be able to warrant a college to look at them. But a guy who was the Maine, I know and again, it's very infrequent, but it has happened, a Maine pole vaulter in high school, right? Wins a state championship in pole vaulting.
Yep.
That's taking away a look from the runner-up.
Absolutely.
Maybe not, but maybe. But I don't know. The risk of injury, I understand that a little. There's so much risk of injury. Yeah, maybe a little bit in certain sports, but it's more of just athletics-wise, the NCAA is just shitting on women. They are. They're shitting on women.
Right.
Why do they take this approach for what 0.001% of all the athletes in their structure? They're going to crap on all the women across the board, and some women are tolerant of it. They don't care, and they're happy, and that's okay. But I think it's more because of social pressure than their actual true feelings. I think their actual true feelings is, it's wrong. It's wrong. Create a subdivision. Create the transgender NCAA division for each sport. Maybe there's only 2 athletes in each sport, and those 2 athletes can swim against each other or pole vault against each other or race against. It doesn't matter. But why punish? It's got to be a mental stress as well to females, because they are being put on the back burner. No one is out there to defend them.
No.
And why is that happening? Why is the NCAA taking this stand? I don't know.
Well, it's free country.
Yeah, but that's garbage. That's garbage. It's got nothing to do with free country.
Well, then I should be able to compete against kids in nursery school.
I would do it. I would go out. If there's some kind of 6th grade championship.
Yep. I identify as a 6th grader.
You're right. You should go. You should show up to the 6th grade wrestling championship at 6'5", 305 pounds.
Yep.
And just dominate.
Yeah.
Just dominate in the heavyweight.
Around.
You can only be in the heavyweight division because you can't go anywhere. You're too big.
Yeah.
But bottom line, I would take the 6th graders and start put a dress on.
How old are you? 14.
Right. Well, you don't have to put a dress on. You only identify as a 6th grader.
Yeah.
Mentally, Steve identifies as a 6th grader.
Exactly.
And just go out there and just start slamming kids to the ground, right?
Yeah.
And walk off. Take the medal and walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's all good.
I agree. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. We're messed up.
Interesting to see what happens.
We're messed up.
There are a bunch of girls that wanted to play football. That'd be one thing.
Well, there are.
Not really.
Flag.
Yeah.
Flag football.
No, I know flag.
Listen, there's some high school girls that play football.
I believe me.
There are some high school girls that play. Show me a high school girl that plays a position besides kicker that is successful.
I interviewed former UConn star running back Matt Lawrence.
Yeah.
Matt Lawrence runs the largest flag league in Connecticut.
Really?
He runs it for boys and girls.
Okay.
And he sent the first girls on scholarship to college for football.
and
flag football.
For flag football.
Yes.
I got you. Okay, that's for football. I know.
I just thought that was amazing.
There's going to be full scholarships for flag football, without a doubt. For what was I going to say now? Position players. Besides kicker.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Right. So why does that not apply to the female side, where the understanding is that structured body and that testosterone level, the hormone level, everything, the bone density, everything changes and allows them to be superior than females at what they're doing.
Right.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yep. Neither do I.
Yeah.
But good thing is we don't have to.
You think so?
No,
we don't.
No,
we don't have to start figuring this out.
Well, Trump's back, so we're okay.
Well, what about Wisconsin?
What are they doing in Wisconsin?
The governor just signed into law. He's changing the way you have addressed women, mothers. He's changing the way to address mothers.
What are you?
You don't call them mothers anymore, mom.
What are you supposed to call them?
Inseminated person.
That's a mouthful.
Well, if you take it in the mouth all the time, you're not a mother anymore. But inseminated person. But
it's a law.
Yeah,
like I'm going to go to jail.
They've either put it up for proposal or they're instituting right now in Wisconsin. I think it's instituted. I'll be honest with you. Wisconsin and Minnesota are I don't understand it. I'm sorry.
You're supposed to call your teacher that inseminated person?
Well, it's how to address it's how to address mothers. It's how to address mothers. Like, so on Mother's Day, you get the card.
This was a good idea.
Obviously, the Senate in Wisconsin. On Mother's Day, you could give a card to your mom and say,
pot legal
happy inseminated person day.
Is weed legal in Wisconsin?
I don't know. They should be doing heroin.
Yeah, but they must be.
They should be doing heroin.
Inseminated person.
Yeah. Look it up. Wisconsin, inseminated person. Okay. Wow. Insanity.
On that note.
Insanity.
All right. I don't know what to say to that.
Right. I didn't either. I looked at the television. I go, it's got to be a lie. Nope.
All right. Well, for the voice of reason.
Yes, as always.
Inseminated man, Frank.
No, there's no guy inseminating me.
I'm Steve Cully, best podcast radio host in the universe.
That's what I heard.
Moneyline. Remember, life gives you lemons. Don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges. Throw them right back at life.